These are some boring ass pillars. Let's fix that. Hey guys, welcome back to AP Wargaming and Terrain. It's Tuesday, so it's time for another tutorial for you guys. In the process of trying to figure out what I was going to do for this week, I just couldn't pull my mind away from these pillars. They're just so boring. There's no flair to them whatsoever. And my purpose for making these was to put them in a great hall, like a king sits in this room. So there needs to be something more to these pillars. So let's head to the table and get started. First things first, I took some tea lights, 6 of them, obviously, and ripped them all the way down to all of their individual parts. When it came to the diode, we need the leads on it straight. So bend them out. This will help in the long run. Now, putting holes in these pillars was a lot more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be. My hand drill did do the trick, but it took me quite some time to get through it. So maybe an electric drill next time if I ever do something like this. Once those holes were in there, I went back in with my hobby knife, made it a little bit bigger to be able to fit the diode. I also cut a notch into the bottom for the wiring, and then fed through the diode and put the base of the tea light into the socket underneath the cap. Got lucky, they fit perfectly. Once you got them where you like them, hot glue them in. Make sure to stay away from the doors and the switches. Then once everything's dried up, throw the batteries in, close the door, make sure you didn't hide anything or make sure you didn't cover anything with the hot glue. This is a coffee stir straw that I split in half to wrap around the wiring. Now we could just leave those sitting in that hole like that, so I decided to create a small little podium style situation for these to brace themselves on. There was no measuring here, I just cut out a shape I liked and went from there. Then taking the other half of that shape, I made some more modifications to it just to add a little bit more to look at. Once I was happy with the shapes, I just super glued them on. And there was still a small gap So we just pinched in the straw at the bottom and shoved it in. Now I wanted to make sure that those wires never moved ever again, so hot glued them in place. Now we needed small little strips to hold the torches up to those stone podiums. So I just used some chipboard here and cut out a length that I thought was right and just super glued them on. Of course, if you have a bamboo stick, this is an easy way to make that curve without adding a bend to it. Then we just super glued those on. We did skip the painting step, and that's because we followed the exact same painting technique that we used in the pillar video to match. So we'll leave a link up in the right hand corner for you guys to watch that. Now, because they were so close to the pillar, I wanted to make the pillars look like they had some burn marks on them. How I did that was I took a very stiff brush and did a stippling dry brush of black in a Christmas tree pattern until I got what I was looking for. Now it was time to attach those little leather pieces, and I got these beads from Hobby Lobby. And then we just super glued them on. I couldn't do it on camera, it was way too difficult. Now it's time for adding the flame. What you want to do is cover the entire light with hot glue, get a pretty good blob, and then set it upside down to let it dry, which will naturally form a little peak on it. And then once that is all dry, that's when you'll come back in with the tip of your hot glue gun and drag it along and shape it out until you get the perfect shape that you like for your flame. Now when it came to painting, I just used a true red color, sticking to the side of my brush only, just to hit those raised portions of the flame, and stayed mostly to the top. And then I followed that up with a tangerine color at the bottom, making sure that it was a little watered down to keep transparency, and it was also going to help blend in some of that red as well. And there you have it, guys. Now these pillars actually look like they belong in a great hall. I'm super happy with the way they turned out. Cannot wait to use them on the board. This was a good project. I was very happy with the way these things turned out. So as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. Share, subscribe if you haven't already. If you would like to support the channel, Patreon is a great way of doing that. There is a description or a link in the description below for that. So that is it for this week. So we'll see you guys this time next week.